out concept.
Just busting out.
Wow, this has got to be the Native. Sponsored by Native.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry. This has got to be the most
the best.
thrown together.
We should shut that door. Do you think we're gonna wake up our kids? Anyway, sorry, not to
Okay.
get up and shut the door, but
Okay. Howdy, howdy. Today is a marvelous day. Let's see. We today is the 8th?
ninth.
9th of January, 2024. The last time we podcast
Oh,
was
what was it?
we haven't podcasted since being on the road.
No, since being at the Felton's Airbnb.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Oh
the last time.
man,
So,
what is wrong
sorry.
with us?
This has been insane. So I'm gonna do like a speed recap of like what has happened. I'll say one of the hardest things I think, and reason why the podcast hasn't even happened, is our setup has been all over the place, and like even trying to figure out how to work. The podcast just takes the back seat. So it's like that's just like I don't have a space to work. I definitely don't have a space to like set up a camera and record stuff. So that doesn't hit the table at all. So we're like finally at a place where we're catching up, feeling like we're ready and like gonna I don't know hit our groove. So
Yeah.
yeah, so here we are. So let's see. Where I need to just hold that anyway because it's fun to hold
What?
it.
No, that's dumb.
It's plugged in, it's
This.
on.
Oh
Look,
man.
lights on. We're wasting battery for no reason.
This is. Why would you use something if you can't? If it's not gonna work.
Shh.
I mean.
They don't know that it doesn't work.
So
Anyway.
this is off, and
Here, tap on
you're
it.
acting
Tap on
like it's.
Anyway, so
Oh man.
let's what has
Hold on. That right there was a perfect analogy of this tour. Like how
What?
how prepared we are, right?
I don't understand.
No, I'm not gonna get into
Okay,
it.
so anyway, quick fire. What has happened between Port Angeles and now? Go.
Oh, we went. I was
Like literally give me
what?
your fast version of what
Yeah,
happened.
no, okay, so we
And that was it.
we drove through my parents' house, Fredo, stopped by them, said goodbye, hugs, kisses, drove to Tulsa, Oklahoma. We went through like 6 different states to get there. Stayed in Tulsa for 2.5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Stayed at the Expo RV Park, which is a big old parking lot at the Expo Center. It was super windy. We got hit with the flu. Our RV flooded.
It was cold.
Things got crazy. Oh, we got a new cargo trailer
It
while
was
we were there.
dirty. There
We
was
were
no
desperate.
grass or anything. It was just a parking lot and then like a dirt patches pretty much. Go ahead.
Yeah. We hosted some events. We attended the BMX Grand National events, which was amazing, and our kids got to race. But on the day that they were racing, it was my turn to have the 24-hour flu. So I was in the RV throwing up and diarrheaing the whole time. So I got to watch it
Same time.
while laying on the couch. Yeah.
You were doing that on the couch?
No. Like,
Yes.
I would go to the bathroom with a bowl.
Okay. That's okay. Fast. Keep going. You're
And
slowing
then-
down.
Yeah. And then
You
we
slowed
hosted
down for
2
the wrong
events.
information.
And the gathering place, they made this sign for
Okay,
us.
that's right here.
It's okay. You're gonna rip off the paint. I feel like it's
The
gonna come
paint?
off. Oh no.
What paint?
It's the
It's
lawyer
printed.
that. Anyway,
Gathering
gathering place. They made these signs for us, and we were like, "Wow, that's super official, more official than we've ever."
Can we have them?
Can we have it?
They made 5 of them.
Yeah.
4
Oh,
of 'em.
really?
4 of them.
Wow. Anyway, so that was a great event. Both the authors to the books that we've been reading were there, McCrae Dowd and Peyton Ridenour, and it was awesome. It was so much fun. Our event at Hardesty was a blast. The whole thing was awesome. Moving on from there, we head to Palm Springs, California, and we were there for an entire month.
We canceled, so we can't, well, let's say, we moved, or postponed, I guess, if you will, our California story time at BMX stops, just because we were, I don't know, we were like not prepared to like jet over and do California stops. and we just needed the time to prepare is what we realized after Grams.
Well, the issue that we ran into was it was next to Christmas and all the BMX tracks were taking a giant break. So they were like, why would you host an event when our track is closed? So
right. Yep.
It didn't
so
make sense.
Because of that, we took a month off. It was nice. We were in Palm Springs. We have 1,000 Trails membership, so we just pay like $75 a month, and we get 2 weeks at a time to book. So we stayed for a total of 3 weeks out of the 4 weeks. Because we did 7 days out, and then 2 more weeks. So that was awesome. Yeah, so it was cool. We definitely ready to move on. We had like a crazy rainstorm. I got to play some pickleball. My parents came down for some Christmas time. We did our little Christmas.
Went on some hikes, which were super awesome.
Yep, and then and then we packed up. We stayed 3 nights in 2 different casino parking lots, and then got this Airbnb here in Phoenix. And so then I just
visited his grandparents on the way.
Oh, that's right. We visited my grandparents, and then now we're here in this little extra room working. Got my desk office set up behind the camera there, and we had our first event of 2024 yesterday.
Yep.
How did that go?
It was awesome. It went really well.
Yeah, talk about it.
Okay. So this was the first event where we had a Storytime sponsor. Like someone actually supported us financially to do it.
Second event with sponsor, a Storytime
Oh wait,
sponsor.
you're right. Because our first event was covered in Victoria.
Oh yeah,
That's
so
right.
third.
Oh.
Because my mom paid for one.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. I love it. Okay, so this is our third paid event. And so the person who sponsored this event, she went to that library an hour before we're supposed to arrive, the day of, and checked in with them, and they said they had no record of the event.
Whoever she checked in with.
They don't have a record of the event. And so she emails me and says, I'm leaving the library now. They say they have no record of your event. Like, please advise. And then
Which when you told me that, I didn't realize. I thought she was like, heads up, they don't have record of your event.
That's what I was thinking too.
I was like, okay, we're about to be there. I didn't think
so I emailed her immediately back, almost like a text message of like, hey, I'm on my way right now. Like, that's really interesting. And then I'm like panicking in the car because I was like, do you mean to tell me that the meeting room that we're supposed to meet at isn't available? Like, what does that mean?
Right. So I was thinking...
I scroll through my email and I find the confirmation email of this person, the librarian, and I going back and forth. And anyway, long story short, I get there, I go and check in, and they're like, oh yeah, just right here into the back room. And I was like, okay. And so then we brought everything in, we set it up. It was a great event. Mm-hmm. I leave and I check social media, and the sponsor had taken all of their posts down promoting it.
Like in that time.
In that hour-long span before.
So at that point you realized...
I was like, oh, she thinks
that we were scamming her or something.
Yeah.
Because we never met her. But so you call her and hype her up and we're doing this cool thing. So
yeah, and so then I made like a fun recap video of it. I tagged her in the thing, and then I emailed her thanking her for it, and also with that sponsorship, I'm going to the daycare.
You're planning on going to the daycare.
Yeah, to host an event privately for the daycare. So that's tomorrow. It's at 10:00 in the morning, and I'm hoping that she's like...
Well, you haven't heard from her since.
No, and I've tried. I called her, I emailed her. And so I asked her how many kids. Team. Yeah, and I asked how many kids are going to be there so I can make sure I have all the supplies that I'm going to need. I asked if they have a Bluetooth speaker. I'll bring my own just in case, and all this. And long story short, I haven't heard back from her. And the team member said, "Okay, I'll let her know. She'll be here in the morning."
And the team member didn't know anything about the event.
Yeah, and the team member that I spoke with didn't know anything. Yeah. So
I'm
going to go tomorrow with one of our kids, because it's like a private thing. So I'll go with one of our kids and hope that she welcomes me and I'm allowed to come in and do it, because I would love to do it. I mean, and she supported us to anyway. So
it's $500.
I felt Usually after a story time, I'm like, I just feel really good and I'm pumped. And I felt really good and I was pumped. And then I got in the car and I looked on social media and saw that she had removed everything and like untagged me and stuff. And then I was like, that sucks.
Well, it
That
just kind of was
like,
like a sinking feeling because someone thought that you scammed them.
Yeah, it just did not. I was like, of all the things, like that's the absolute worst thing that I could do. Like that's just not a Breck move. So I felt really terrible. But that event was awesome.
Yeah.
I have some friends from high school that I did not even know that they lived in Phoenix and they showed up at this event and that made my day because I was literally talking to you about like just missing community and stuff and missing like familiar faces, and so then to see them I was like, what?
Right.
It was really cool because I went to high school.
So on that note, so the husband of the family that you were friends with, he was very active and he participated a lot in the story time.
Yeah.
So I was thinking it would be cool. I was like kind of joking, kind of not, because I've been thinking about this. Like, how do you get parents? And this is actually, so I'll back up even further. A big part of like what I'm excited about this tour is to show parents like, hey, you can engage and play with your kids, right? Right. And so even at these events, like, hey, like you can participate with your kids, and we encourage it, right? So thinking about like having when they check in, like having the like a little like a medal or a prize for like the parent that participates with us, and then at the end we can like give it and take a picture with them, like this dad's the real MVP right here or whatever, you know.
Oh man.
And I feel like it's always the dads, not all the dads, but there's always a dad that just like steps up and is like, I'm just gonna.
There have been some pretty active moms, like the one at Tequila. There was a mom that was like going just off the wall, pumped. I was like, dude, I love it. So yeah. Anyway, I just thought it'd be cool to incentivize that. Is that better than my big toe? Remember the episode that I had the big toe just on the side all the people
time?
that have like foot phobias.
Yeah, or foot fetishes.
Two birds with one stone.
So I'm excited. This will probably be more of like an update podcast, just because we haven't talked.
Why'd you check your watch? You're like,
I'm tired. I want to start.
Okay.
No. I was trying to
the mic is actually right here, so I'm like yelling into it.
Don't yell into the microphone.
I better sit back here with you.
Well,
now we're gonna take shifts.
I was leaning forward and I'm blurry, so I have to like sit at least right here, but that's kind of awkward, so I can sit right here.
See, we're professional podcasters. This isn't a freaking podcast.
Professional podcasters.
We're on like a day bed in an office.
Anyway.
This is girl talk.
Remember when you first said anyways? When we first started this podcast, you said anyways. Oh, that's fun.
It's like my mom. Shout out to my mom who says supposedly. It's like supposedly, mom. Supposedly.
That's not right either.
Supposedly?
I'm just kidding.
Supposedly.
No one knows. Yeah. Anyway, so what I was gonna say is bring a little bit more structure back here. Oh, I think that's the thing.
How do you do this?
That's
go ahead, structure.
So that is so this is our first week of 2024. We are gonna podcast every single week. So that's why we're podcasting now. We're going to upload a vlog every single week. I've got like 2 more to get caught up, and then it's just go time. And then we are doing our story time and BMX clinics every single week. So I'm excited because it's like we have about once every 4 or 5 weeks we have a week off, but otherwise it's like this is what we're doing for the foreseeable future. So buckle up.
Yeah. Can I just say something real quick? Here's the thing. Here's the thing about like it's just like in my way. Like it's in my vision. The thing is like when you listen to something like this, like it just feels like, what is it that people want to hear? And I feel like I want to share a story. Like there's a story that I want to share, and I feel like people are here for like the dirty details.
What's the story? All right, this is annoying. The audio cut out, and we just lost 15 minutes of our podcast. So Breck was telling a super awesome story. You know, it's great. This gives us an opportunity.
First of all, thank you for acknowledging that, because your body language.
I'm tired. So anyway, I'm grateful because you know what this allows us to do? Do it better.
feel like that was kick booty.
It was, but I believe you can do it even better. So I'm going to use the restroom. You give them the story of a
You're
lifetime.
not just going to use the... you're not just going to use the restroom. You're going to go eat some food.
I'll be right back. Just be right back. But I'm here in spirit.
Anyway, okay. What I was telling Kylan, right, prior to all this. Oh boy, you don't have to do that. You know how when you listen to podcasts, I will. It's fun to hear stories because I feel like when you tell a story, it gives people perspective. Like you want to make, I want to feel like I'm there. When I listen to a podcast, I want to hear them share something about their life so I can feel like I'm there. I feel like I can just learn a little bit more about them. So I'm going to do that. Okay. I'm going to deliver that. So, okay. I'll just start from when we left Arizona. Kylan's we didn't leave Arizona. When we left Kylan's grandparents' house in Arizona, this is New Year's. This is the day before New Year's, or New Year's Eve. Anyway, I don't know. This is the day before New Year's Eve. So we don't have any place to stay in Phoenix that night, and that's where our story time and bike clinic is going to be in that area. So we're like, let's make our way that direction, but we didn't have any set place to stay. We had some checks that we're trying to clear in the bank, but because of the holiday, nothing was coming through, so we kind of had close to no money. So we head right to Costco from their house. And we get to Costco, and knowing that we don't have it, it's only 11 o'clock in the morning by this time anyway. So knowing that we don't have any place to stay, we're kind of just lingering in Costco. And we get into Costco, and there's the electronics set up on the table. And our kids are like, can we play with the iPads and stuff? And we're like, sure, yeah. So they're just goofing around on all the different iPads, and Kylan and I there's you can picture this. You've been to Costco before probably. They've got the TV set up with all the colorful images all over them. They got the spray painting things going on. So Kylan and I'm just holding on to him and just kind of my head's resting on his chest, and I'm just we're just looking at the TV, just hanging out, honestly. And the Costco employee comes over and he's like, hey, can I help you guys? And I was like, oh no, I got off from him. Oh no, we're just hanging out, killing time. And he's like, which is probably incredibly crazy because it was packed. That Costco was really busy. There were people kind of shuffling all over the place. And in the midst of all of this, you've got these big screen TVs, and we're just a couple just in my sweats. I was literally wearing this, I think. And I'm just hanging out. Our kids are playing on iPads. It's what are they doing? You guys have places to go, things to get. And, but we just didn't. So he was like, oh, I didn't mean to break up your cuddle session or whatever. I was like, no, we don't have, we're not in a hurry. And with that, Kylan explains oh yeah, we're full-time RVers, and so we don't have a place to stay tonight, so we're just kind of hanging out and killing time and all this. And he was like, no way. And so this guy ends up kind of sharing his heart about how him and his wife want to do this someday. They want to travel full-time, and the rig that they want to get and all this stuff. And it was really cool. He's just a super sweet guy. He's probably a little bit older. He's my dad's age. And so it was cool. So we're just kind of oh, this is awesome. It was just a really cool, genuine interaction. This man, in the busyness of the New Year and New Year's Eve, and the lines are insane in Costco and everything, the the employee doesn't have anywhere to go. He's in charge of the electronics, and we're not doing anything, so we just visiting with them, and it was really special, and we just really valued that time. But anyway, so that was kind of fun, and he was just super inspired by us, and we were inspired by him and his genuine, just kind spirit. And but yeah, so we leave that, we go get some whatever you call it when you taste test the stuff. Why am I not thinking of it? Samples. Yeah. Anyway, so we go get some samples, we walk around. We head back out to the RV. We got some $1.50 hot dogs for lunch. Thank you, Costco hot dogs, for just inexpensive meal. But we head out, go back to the RV, and we were kind of going back and forth about like we had a limited amount of money, and Kylan was like, babe, just like go in there and get some stuff for the next couple days to get us by, because we just, it's a holiday. So I was like, okay. So I go back in there while him and the kids stay in the RV, and so I go back in there and I'm just like brainstorming like, what can I get that's like a meal when I don't have that much money. And the Costco taco platters that they have in the back, like refrigerated pre-made meals, those are like $15 for one taco platter that comes with like, the chicken, the tortillas, the lettuce, and cheese and sauces and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, that's great. So I get 2 of those, and I get some drinks because it's like coming up on New Year's Eve, and I knew I had some breakfast stuff in the RV, and then I got some like popcorn. Anyway, so I get that. I head out to the RV, and Kylan and the kids aren't there. So I'm like, I look out the RV door, like, where the heck are they? And I see Briar like walking towards the football field, and Frankie's like following her. So I head out over there to them, and they're all just rolling around wrestling on the turf football field of this like private high school. And so we ended up hanging out there for like an hour and a half, and it was just like, I don't know, it was a really sweet, cool, random time, and it's just interesting because these things that I would never do, like, you don't just drive by some private high school and be like, oh yeah, let's go roll around on the turf, but or just stare at the screen at Costco. It's like these situations that we're finding ourselves in when in the in-between of the rush of like putting on an event or having to be somewhere at a certain time. It's just a different lifestyle because I don't, my home is an RV. I don't have to like go home and clean stuff. I don't know. It's just interesting. So anyway, we hang out there for a bit. It was super fun. We leave. We go straight to a park, which was like 45 minutes away, and it has like a pump track and an actual huge park and a skate park right next to the pump track, and we end up hanging out there all the way until it's dark. So I made food in there, and we hung out, and once it got dark, did I make food there? No, because after it got dark there, we left, and they're closing the gates, and we head to a casino in Phoenix.
We tried to find another place. I'm back, by the way.
Yeah. We tried to find an overnight parking lot or something, but Walmart, in Arizona in general, like,
I will say, it's not just Arizona. I think that Walmarts have been changing. Like, since we were on the road the first time versus now, I think there's a lot less Walmarts that allow overnight parking.
Yeah.
Or
definitely.
like areas in general. I feel like there's just been a lot more, maybe a crackdown on trying to navigate that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, so we were trying to like, okay, well, where should we sleep? And then most casinos you can stay because they're thinking, like stay for free and gamble the night away, So we go to the casino.
Which we do often.
Oh yeah, big winners. So we go to the casino, and we're parked over there, and the parking lot lights are just blaring into the RV. And by this time, like, I kind of have this attitude because I'm a little bit frustrated. Like,
New Year's Eve.
This is not how I wanted to spend New Year's Eve. Like, I just hoped that we would like be somewhere so I could like, I don't know. I don't like that, like, unknown. And so, anyway, long story short, I'm in there heating up my taco platter stuff. And I call everyone in, and we come and eat. They come and eat, and then they go back out. And I was like, man, I want to make this night special. And I'm rummaging through our overhead compartments, and I find some brownie mix that I had. And I was like, oh, I'll make brownies because I have my propane oven that I can, like, bake the brownies. So I make up these brownies, and while I'm, like, mixing everything, I hear this, like, laughter coming out from outside. And I look out the window of the dinette area, and Kylan and the kids are on the sidewalk, and Kylan's on one end of the sidewalk and the kids are on the other, and they're all in a line, and one at a time they're like sprinting full bore at Kylan, and he's got his arms open wide, and once they get to him, he scoops him up and, you know, spins him around and hugs him and kisses him on the cheek, puts him down, and it's the next kid, and they're like taking turns. They did that for, I kid you not, like 30 minutes, and they come in. Once the brownies were finally done, brownies take a while to bake, by the way. They come in and Kyle's like, hey babe, we're all sweaty. We're gonna sit on the roof of the RV and just hang out. And he's like, you should come and join us. And I'm like, babe, these brownies. He's like, just bring the brownies up there. And so I was like, okay. And so so they're all up there. Kylan grabs a bunch of blankets and drinks, and they're all just snuggled up on the roof of the RV in a casino parking lot. And there's this Christmas light display across from it. It's like a drive-through Christmas light display. And it was really cool. Like, it's obviously cued to music, which you have to tune into the radio, and we didn't turn on the RV to do that. But it just looked really awesome.
Well, we were close enough to kind of see the whole thing. So you have like a third of our view is this Christmas light display.
Yeah.
And then 2/3 is like kind of the city. Not, I wouldn't say skyline, because it's not like...
Yeah.
It was pretty flat, but you could see...
Yeah,
you know,
and then you got the casino over here.
Yeah, casino behind us, yeah.
And so, so I climb up to the roof with the brownies, and I plop them down to cool, and I see Kylan with the kids, and they're all snuggling, and one of our kids in particular was, like, super emotional, and I was like, what's up? And he just was like, I'm just so happy right now. Like, I just have so much joy in my heart. Like, I want the people, you know, that I love to, like, experience this. I want my friends to, like, feel this feeling that I feel right now in this moment. And he was saying, I just love my dad. I just love him so much. And I just, like, I got emotional because I was like, man, like, that is what it's all about, you know, at the end of the day. And I just needed an attitude adjustment, and I was just, first of all, like, super grateful for you to be able to, like, pull it together and give that to our kids when I, you know, couldn't, you know, get in the moment.
Well, I would say too, like, I was
just like earlier that day, or like the day before even, we kind of made the decision, like, hey, we're not gonna be productive.
It's New Year's, like, no
one's gonna answer phones. We're not plugged in, so I can't, like, edit videos and stuff. Like, let's try not to, like, stress ourselves out too much.
Yeah, just relax and enjoy it. Yeah.
So while we were there, it was just funny because it's like the day kind of led to, you know, we just got to be intentional with them.
Yeah.
All day, and then we're in the parking lot, and I don't remember how, like, we call it run into my arms. It's like what I call it, jump into my arms now. Yeah. And I don't know how it started, but, like, it was funny because they were like, oh, me too, and then they just kept going, like, it was them wanting to just keep doing it, and then I'm just like, why not? But then, yeah, it just, like,
it went on for a really long time.
But I was, like, telling Breck, like, man, and you might have already said this.
No, I didn't.
I wish I could have, like, a GoPro strapped to my chest and you could see them, like, approaching me.
Yeah.
And, like, as they're running, they're looking at me and they see me, like, here, and they're just like,
and
it's just, I don't know, there's just something so special about that. And so, like, when we're on top of the roof and we're, like, watching the fireworks are starting to, like, light off in the sky.
Oh, yeah, I should back up. There were fireworks going from the moment it was dark. There was, like, fireworks from random houses and neighborhoods and all that from all over the place. So that was fun because you had the Christmas lights going on, and then there's just fireworks kind of constantly throughout the night. And anyway, so I kind of, like, Kylan's like, okay, someone go snuggle with mama, like, take turns. And I'm like, oh boy, like, they're gonna just feel my vibe, and it's total buzzkill from what Kylan's just exuding love and joy over there. But I pulled it together, and I was snuggling them, and it was super sweet. It was really special. I didn't get that vibe from you at all. I was trying really hard. Like, I honestly was trying really hard. Yeah, I could sense and see the joy in everyone, and I was like, dude, I am not about to suffocate that. Like, I need it. So I needed some of that, you know? So it made me really happy, the first thing, to have, you know, him just tell me, like, this was the best, you know? So that was all really sweet. So we're up there and we got brownies, we got drinks, we just have like LaCroix or whatever those like poppy sodas are.
Yeah. Wow.
And anyway, and so we're just hanging out, watching the fireworks, talking as a family. We got blankets wrapped around. It was just a really special moment. And you went down and grabbed the drone, and Miles went down and grabbed some paper and markers, and he comes back up and he's like hard at work drawing something and we don't know, and it turns out he's drawing like 2024 on these pieces of paper like as big as he can. So he hands them out to us, and by this time it's like 9:45, and I pull
We're
up
Mountain Standard Time, so 10 p.m. is
10 p.m.
the ball
Arizona
drops.
And it is when the ball 10 p.m. is when the ball drops in New York. And so I pull that up on my phone on YouTube for live. And so I set that up on the edge, and there's fireworks going, and you got the Christmas light display. And so we watch the ball drop right there. We count down, and then we start cheering right at 10 o'clock. And Miles holds up the signs, and we're all holding up the sign, and it's like in the middle of the parking lot. Anyway, it was hilarious. So that was a super sweet moment. And then we came back down and put the kids to bed at like 10:15, and we went right to bed ourselves because there's not much to do in an RV when everyone else has to sleep and be quiet. So anyway, that was that night. And then the next day we just kind of hung out and did the same thing. Just chilled and hung low. Went to some parks. Yeah, we went to more parks and just played that next day at random parks. Multiple parks.
Yeah.
We went back to that other park that we were at, didn't we? And then went to another park. Anyway. Stayed the night at... Where did we stay that night? At the Walmart parking lot. And he said, there's no overnight parking here.
Yep.
But you have kids.
He was nice.
Yeah, he was sweet. Kylan said, well, we have kids that are already asleep. And, but we'll find somewhere else. And he was like, no, it's fine. So
just don't leave until we come and bug you the next time. And he was referring to basically saying... I can't tell you to stay, but I'm not going to come back and tell you to leave.
Yeah, so we got to sleep through the night there. At least I did. And the kids, I don't know if you were up all night just trying to pay attention.
Quite late.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, I don't know, when we're in parking lots and it's not, like, we're technically not supposed to be, like, what I hate worse, I'd rather stay up all night long than get woken up.
Yeah, and when we're in a parking lot, Kylan always sleeps on the couch so that he's the one closest to the door, because it's just like, I don't know, safety.
It's not even, I mean, safety is an element, but it's just even like...
If someone knocks, you want to be right up
we
to
had
open
one
the door.
time, was it in Canada? We were in Walmart, and they don't allow overnight parking, so we all fell asleep, and then the guy was knocking on the window.
And, it was 2:30 in the morning.
No, I don't think it was that late.
Really?
I think we just went to bed early. I think it was like midnight.
Oh, okay.
But either way, I just that feeling for some reason, and he was really nice. Like he was talking through the window, like, oh no, it was like a younger guy, super nice guy from Walmart. Yeah. And like helped us, like, you can go down to the Costco down the street, or whatever. But still that feeling of like having someone wake you up.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Being caught off guard. And then it's the grogginess of now I have to like problem solve this, but I'm groggy. I'm like not even like, so it's like I'd rather just stay up all night.
So that was just kind of a stressful couple days, and then
we got this Airbnb.
Because first of all, number one, Phoenix and Arizona in general just doesn't have a lot of RV parks for 55 and younger. And the other part too, especially we needed to be in a certain area because of the events that we're hosting. And
they have some really nice family-friendly RV parks, but
you have to have
a rig that's 10 years old or newer. So
and our 98 just don't cut it.
It's not even close. So there's a few times where I've convinced them that it's a 2000. It's just because some of them have like, it has to be a 2000 or newer.
Well, when you say 2000, it just doesn't sound as old, even though it's just like 2 years difference. It's like 2000. It's like, see, I'm in there. It's like
there was a place that required 2000 and newer.
Oh, really?
We never went to, I think it was like I was calling to inquire or something, because I remember saying like 2000, and it was like, they're not going to tell the difference, but.
Yeah, so anyway, so we're here in this this Airbnb, and it's been a super big blessing. I mean, to just spread out, to have a full kitchen, to be able to cook meals and do laundry that I don't have to pay $8 a load for. I mean, Jiminy
Well, and
Christmas.
think about all the things. So it's like I've had this office room.
Yeah.
We've had laundry. We've had like showers. The Legos. The kids have been able to just play Legos.
The Legos.
We filmed an episode in the backyard today. I got to work on the RV like in a kind of secure spot. So there's a cover and stuff back there.
Yeah. So it rained pretty hard a couple days here, and everything's been like covered and good, and so it's kind of like we can breathe a little bit, so that feels good.
Like
and then
you and I went to shopping tonight and left the kids here.
Yeah, we got a Turo, which is like an Airbnb. For those of you that don't know, Turo is like an Airbnb for cars. So if you have a car that you don't use that often, you can post it on Turo and people can borrow it.
Yep.
And there's like a whole insurance thing that's great, and it's kind of cheaper than rental cars.
It can be.
It can be. Yeah.
We can get we've gotten like a Tesla Model 3 for the same price as like the cheapest enterprise car before.
$35 a day or something. Yeah, like it's really.
And the fees are a lot less too.
Yeah, it's great. So but anyway, all that to say, I just wanted to share like one long story just to kind of like give you a feel for.
Really long.
Sorry.
No, it's right.
Just to give us, it's always fun to just like, I want to know like what's a day in the life, So.
Yep.
That's a weekend in the life, essentially, over the holidays.
Yeah.
And
So here we are. We are going to, we're going to do this thing.
Yeah.
It's one step at a time. We are super excited because I think we're just like settling in and finding like even how we talk about stuff and present it, and even like our capacity for work and all that stuff, and like sponsorships and nailing that stuff down.
It's such a fine line too, because like there's this level of professionalism that I want so badly to have. It's like, oh yeah, when I call people, or like I'm seeking sponsorship, or I'm seeking like partnership from the library or the BMX track, like, hey, we're doing this thing, and I want them to believe in it because it's legit. But it just is like, oh, we're just a husband wife and we're barely making it back. It's really hard to like, to sell that, or to like, and some people, and that's the great thing, is like, you get some BMX tracks that are like, I absolutely want to do this. We need more striders or balance bikes. I see the vision. I see what you're doing, and I value that. I want to support that. Right. And that's just like, and those events, everything that, it just goes so well. And then when you have people that are like, I would never pay, like, we don't pay, people to come put on a clinic. And I'm like, oh, it's free to everybody that's coming versus like a clinic, anyway. There's just like it's just hard. It's hard to like, if you don't, and I'm not going to argue with the track operator and try to convince them to let me come, but it's like, oh, okay, if you don't want me to be there, like I honestly don't want to be there. So then I just reach out to another track operator in a nearby BMX track and try again. And
and that goes for like libraries and everything too.
Yeah,
it's like, if we're not, if they're not going to be receptive and helpful in us being there, then we're not going to try to like beat the door down.
And I think what ends up becoming exhausting sometimes for me is like, I'm doing that so many times throughout the week, trying to plan a stop, because it's just like, we're not well known, Brecky Breck isn't like a huge deal. So it's like me trying to convince people to let me come and do these things because I'm passionate about it and I love it, and the fans that are in the area want to come to these, but there's only like 5 or 6 of them that are aware of Brecky Breck, it's still worth it, but it's just really hard. So sometimes I feel defeated because I'm like, man, I don't like having to just sell myself constantly. Like, I have like this whole thing that I go through on the phone and in the email. It's all kind of the same copy paste, and it gets really redundant, and I'm like, man, this is really hard, but I know that it's just the beginning of it, and I can already feel the snowball, and the people that, and my host parents that are being helpful to me, like they're carving the way for some of these stops to where I don't have to do that. I don't have to like prove myself or try to like convince someone to do something. Like they're doing that on my behalf, and it just makes me feel like so much more like appreciated and valued, and it just, I love it. Like after the story time today, it was, or yesterday, it was like that is worth it. Like, the kids are amazing. I love just having that time, you know, bringing families together and meeting new people and lighting up a library that's not that popular of a place. And
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
That's cool. Yeah, no, I'm excited. It'll be good. Yeah, this was kind of a blah.
Yeah.
Get it out. But we'll get back in our groove. I think it'd be fun to like get like a structure for our podcasts and like have, you know, here's our updates, here's a fun story, here's some different stuff. So to kind of get a little bit more organized with that. So first step is doing it, and here we are. We're doing it. You're done.
Woohoo!
All right.
Until next time. Did you plan on doing that? Salute?
I don't know. I saw you moving your arm.
Oh.